already the stats have helped. Hey guys, I'm Kate. Welcome back to my channel, and today I'm going to be reviewing my 2020 writing resolutions, the good, the bad, the ugly, and the epiphanies, as we're now a quarter of the way through 2020. A third of the way through 2020. A third. Ugh. But while I'm chatting about my goals, I have things and stuff we're gonna do for a goal, for an activity for May. First, let's go ahead and get out of the way the whole no new stories thing, which at this point I feel like I've kind of talked about ad nauseum as I've broken the rules. It's a decision I've made peace with, keeping in larger spirit what the goal was meant for while also allowing myself my monthly write anything day. So, you know, the catchy highlight of the 2020 goals already sort of changed. Let's talk about the other big one, which was my writing tracker, or tracking my writing, or whatever you want to call it. I actually wasn't doing that well on this up until April because I hadn't made it a habit. I would start and then I would stop, which ultimately then made the data that I had managed to collect, just not useful. But then Camp NaNoWriMo rolled around, and since I was trying to update their website daily with my progress, I figured why not update all of my other projects daily too? You know, like what my goal was. Anyways, I've had some epiphanies because of this. Namely, I can only work on 3 creative projects with any sort of regularity. I mean, day in, day out contributing, whether that's drafting or revision. This is such a big deal to have learned because for April, I'd actually planned to work on 4 projects. The one that's been suffering is my 24-hour romance novella, while Meridian Maps, Murder Mystery Tennessee, and my short stories have all been going really well. Now, part of this was because I was story blocked on the 24-hour romance novella, but after getting words in these 3 creative projects and YouTube and other work, I'm just kind of mentally tapped. And so even though I've actually figured out a solution like a week ago to the problem I was having, I just haven't really returned here as I've attempted to maintain the momentum in these other 3 projects. The plus side to this is that I now have a means to plan all of my other months, which I had done, and I will flash it over there. Any nano month I had 4 projects planned, and now I know that just won't work. I can't do it. Is this the happiest I've been for something to not work before? Yes. And while I don't yet have the data that I was initially hoping back in the beginning of 2020, you know, the ones that tell me how long my drafting takes or how long certain revisions take, and if there's any similarities across genre or pen name or even publishing plans, already the stats have helped. I just need to keep at it. And I think I have it down to a habit now. I'm hoping for some wood. Now, another change I was wanting to make for the year, which I talked about in a video about starting my resolutions in December, was picking up a new hobby each month, or more like dabbling in a new hobby each month. Trying it out. That lasted for all of December, and that was it. I recently watched Kevin over at Kevlandia's video about his quarterly goal update. Quarterly? Thirdly? What is time? I don't know. Anyways, he said something that I really loved when he was basically talking about all these creative projects that he wanted to start, or new sort of concepts like a podcast or a book idea, or maybe even making a channel for his Etsy shop, which actually I have some of his pens and they are glorious. And he said basically you can't just give these things a month. A month is like no time at all. Try something for a full year and then you can kind of evaluate and see where you want to go from there. And he used an example being authortube. You can't just try authortube for a month and be like, oh, well, it didn't work, or I didn't find anyone, or no one subscribed, or whatever. Like, you just can't do it. A month isn't enough time. So of course, why would a month be enough time and any of these other things? Anyways, this is tied together because even though I was looking at these hobbies as much more of like a sampling rather than a full attempt, I just need to let my brain go. I need it to just, it's okay. It's okay that I haven't tried a new hobby each month. I'm no longer trying to force myself to achieve it or even making myself feel bad for not achieving it. It's done. Strike it from the record. Whatever. We good. Having said that, I am keeping a monthly section for something, and that's what this board's gonna be for. Well, I haven't felt like I had the mental space to try out all these new hobbies. I do for writing. I love writing. It's equal parts hobby and passion and work. I love exploring new genres and tips and tricks that are new to me, and this is key. I've also made it a routine already to carve out time for these kind of experiments. So, may I present to you my plan for May? Poetry. In case you could not read my handwriting or see the board. All about the poetry. Plus it's something you could join me on too if you want to learn more about poetry or kind of stretch yourself as a writer, try some new things. Yeah, so I'll put a version of this in the description. Now, theoretically, as you can see, because there is a free space, this was supposed to be a bingo board, but actually I want to do each one of these, so it's more just like a visualization of what I'm trying to do. A poem a day. I took some suggestions from my patrons over at Patreon, and I kind of filled in the rest of this board with different types of poems, like a sonnet, or slam poetry, or blackout and erasure poetry, or also general themes slash concepts that I see recurring in a lot of poetry, like success, relationships, impossible things, the self. And I'm just so excited to explore this more. I actually have some plans for the rest of the year, including potentially an entire month, December, of like not having writing goals at all. Is a goal to have no writing goals a goal? Anyways, I'm just kind of speculating some things because I just want to, there's something about dabbling that I love, and I want to expand myself as a writer. And obviously I don't expect to be like an expert poet by the time this is done, but I think it could teach me something, and yeah, maybe by the end of it I will be slightly more confident in my poems. That's the only goal, really. Anyways, more to come on all of those monthly sort of writing experiment goals in the future. Now, as for publishing, I do still have plans to publish this year, but not the Meridian maps like I'd originally hoped. We can have an entire debate on if this is necessary, but regardless, this is what I want to do, which is to write the zero drafts of all 5 books. That way I can iron out the character arcs, all of the world building, where we're gonna find the freaking maps, and the important plot points over the entirety of the series, and then I can kind of hint at them and put more into the first book, and kind of, I'm hoping I'll be able to weave it better if I know the entirety of the story. Yeah, at the earliest, I'll finish the 5th book, or the zero draft of the 5th book, at the end of September. Realistically, that's not enough time to take what I figured out from the 5th book and put it back into the first book, and yeah, so again, just kind of cross through that as a goal. I'm letting go of it, but I will be publishing other stuff this year, and I'll also talk about that at some point in the future too. Now, should I mention some positives real quick? There's a whole aside in here about how I'm going to breeze past all of the positive things I've managed to accomplish this year while focusing on the negative things, or the things that I'm having to change or amend due to my own incompetence or whatever else. We're not gonna focus on that right now. Let's talk about the positives. I have actually gotten healthier. I'm really proud of myself. I can now run for 25 minutes straight, or I have once run for 25 minutes straight. I'm in the middle of the 7th week of Couch to 5K, and it's going well, despite the fact that I sometimes have to do over certain days and weeks multiple times. Like, it's going well. I can tell that I've improved. I can tell that I enjoy it. And even though all the gyms are shut down, I'm still hoping I can get that pull up this year. I think I still have faith in myself. I've also almost managed 1 Cooking with Classics each month. I'm reading with more regularity, in part thanks to the Cooking with Classics, but also the AuthorTube chat book club. And I just finished Miss Bourne, and it was just so good. So good. I am very thankful that I had already bought the 2nd book because I was so confident I was going to love the first one, so I have it. Anyways, I think that's it though. Maybe not, probably not. I always forget something, but for the most part, that's it. But thank you guys so much for watching. Thank you for always encouraging me on my goals, despite the fact that sometimes they change. Please do comment down below. Let me know if you write poetry. Let me know if you want to join me on this challenge to kind of like dabble in poetry. Let me know what goals you've amended from the beginning of the year. Let me know if you've succeeded in any of your goals, and let me know if there's any new hobbies that you've tried recently. Yeah, thank you guys so much for watching, and thank you especially to some of my new patrons this month. Tess Elliott, Eileen Conley, Kimberly Southard, Kelly Martin, Arabella, Josh Cortez, and Rachel S. And I will see you all very soon with a new video. Bye! For as etchy. And if there's any I've also managed almost 1 cooking per I've also almost managed let me try this again. We'll try the pose in again. Okay, whatever.